What's up, Hatter Nation? How are we? I'm coming to you live. It is Wednesday. You're not going to get this until the first day of school. So let me be the first one to wish you a happy first day of school. And you know what that means. When class is in session, IMs are in session, clubs are in session. The whole university seems like it's in session. And for how well this intramural program has gone over the last 10 years, I thought it's about time to get a podcast, right? Something that talks about intramural, something that talks about clubs. So that's what we're going to do. I know time is money. I ain't going to take up too much of your time, but the time I am going to take or want to take, I want to make sure it is worthwhile and it's going to be fun. So what we're going to do here soon enough, I'm going to bring a guest onto the call, and we are going to build some hype up for our first games that are coming up this Friday. We're going to talk about what sports we're offering, what club sports are back on campus, how to get involved, how to register, what does it mean to be a team captain. We're going to talk a little bit about prizes. Yeah, there's prizes. If you win the games, we're going to be sure we put some prizes in your pocket or prizes on your shoulders. And we're going to talk about the sport program staff, because without them, none of this would happen. Right? They are the nucleus to what we do, and we are not going to end this call before we give them some love. So let me tell you a little bit more about this podcast. All right, the goal is to have all of these recordings get put on YouTube. Yes, we have a YouTube channel, believe it or not, sport programs. That's not fancy, that's easy. So do us a favor, get on that page and subscribe. And once we get to 500, that's when it gets a lot of fun, right? Because once I get to 500, I'm going to be able to stream live to you on the YouTube, get this to become more interactive. That's something that I think we can all get excited about. I expect to do these bi-weekly. I want this to be not only about intramurals and not only about club sports, but whatever juice is happening on campus, what other university news that we have to talk about. And one thing will always be certain, this is for your entertainment. That's what I want. So without any further ado, I got to get my guest on here. So let's go ahead and give it 3 cheers for Vishal Sharma, our returning graduate assistant. Glad to have you, V. Glad to have you. How's it feel? This is going to be your last year.
Thank you for having me, Travis. Seriously, and just working with intramurals last year, it was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Being able to manage such a great team, and just being part of such an entertaining and such a fun program was something awesome. And I'm definitely looking forward to next year. I think there were a lot of things that I learned last year, so I'm hoping to implement them into this year.
This is a big win, not only for intramural, this is a big win for Stetson. So I think it was about 5 years ago. Vishal comes down. He graduates from a school up in Georgia. He's from India, so he makes a stop before he comes to Stetson. Gets involved very early in my program, which allows me to kind of foster some of that development. Res Life got their hands in on his schedule very early on. He has just been an ambassador for so many different parts on campus. And to see this through for the last 6 years, it's really great. And for some of you that might be listening who knows what this program was like in 2018, our officiating was critical in the state of Florida, and I think in the whole Southeast region. And Vishal is kind of picking up where we left off in 2018, bringing several of our students to University of Florida for the National Intramural Rec Sports Association. That's a mouthful of flag football workshop that UF is hosting. So tell us a little bit more about that, V. Who are you bringing? And that's this weekend. So what's the vibe like?
So very excited to do that. I think that'll be the first time that I'm getting to participate in something like that. What my role will be at that workshop will be more of an instructor and a clinician role. So I'll be pairing up with 4 different, graduate assistants, assistant directors who are very passionate about flag football and who are also masters of the sport. And us 4, I think there's like 4 or 5 people in my team. And the way that it's divided on different levels of your knowledge of the sport. So, there's beginner, advanced, intermediate, different levels, and I'll be a part and running the beginner group. And we are also taking our supervisors and our captains. So Brandon Lacito, that a lot of you guys already know. Ian Hunt, he'll also be accompanying us. Those are our two captains that are going and attending this workshop. And then we also opened this to our supervisors. So our sports supervisors, they are also, in charge of training our staff, training our officials. They definitely are people who like to brush up on their knowledge, know the rules, be masters of the rules themselves. So they'll be attending that, and that's Mia Woolens, Rayner, um, and then Mia, Rayner, Tyler Tomeno. So yeah, we're super excited for our officials, and I'm super excited to be able to attend this workshop myself.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for me. A lot of my friends are intramural sports directors at different schools around Florida. Several of them go to this workshop to help as a clinician and help with the training of the referee. So it's cool for me to kind of send off some of my staff and for them to get as much feedback as they are from like 4 or 5 people just like me, and to bring them back to campus. It elevates our competency, our accuracy, our professionalism. It elevates everything we do. And we're not even getting started yet. They're getting this training in addition to everything else that we're already doing. Starts off this Friday with intramural spike ball. This has been a sport that we put on our calendar back in 2020, and it's been a hit. We have grown participation every single year. Last year we had 31 kids play. We've had 15 teams. It's an all-day event. Registration goes from 12 to 1. Games of leave pretty much from one to 5. And our returning champions are going to be back. Remember them? Colin and Colin Weber and Noah DePoy. So we'll talk a little bit about them later on. But yeah, spike ball is definitely one sport to get excited about. And then softball. Vishal, this is your jam, right? You and the Dirk Digglers
Yeah,
played in the
yeah,
softball league for many years.
for sure. Yeah, that was I was a participant last year in our softball league, and years before that as well. And I mean, it was very competitive, very fun. I felt that there were about 7 or 8 teams in our league last year that were extremely competitive. All those 7 teams could have had a shot to play at Patricia Wilson Softball Field, which is where we host our finals. And
Right.
I mean, one of the most exciting things, and just it was, I mean, completely absurd, was how many home runs we actually hit or had in our final game at the Patricia Wilson Field,
Well,
which was,
everybody was circling the pillows, home run after home run. Hey, I want you all to know this isn't a normal softball league. I kind of fell off my rocker on this one. This is something that I've done back when I was in college, when I was a fraternity man. It was hard to find 18 people to go play, right? But I had 12 people. Figured it out. I was like, well, hold on a second. Let's do teams of 4. We'll put the innings into halves. We'll have 3/3. Every team of 4 gets to bat. There'll be 8 fielders. We'll figure it out. No one hits the right field. So I bring that to Stetson. One of my staff members get paid to pitch. That's right. I got professional softball pitchers on my staff. They love this. Right? They're always trying to fight to get on the rubber. It's great, and it's going to start up after Labor Day. And there's another sport starting up. Don't miss this. It's going to be our fastest sport of the year. 4v4 flag football is. How do you feel about that, Vishal?
I mean, amazing. Honestly, I think 4v4 flag football was a thing my freshman year, and then after that, we took a slight break from 4v4 flag football, but it was exciting. I mean, just 8 people on the field at once. It was smaller fields, people getting to they working with, just because there's a lesser amount of people on the field, getting to work with a little bit more space. I felt like there were a lot of just 1v1 matchups going against each other, and it also gave quarterbacks a lot of room to be able to make plays and throw the ball and find their receiver. So it was definitely exciting. I would say it's a little bit different from the 7v7 dynamic, but still, I mean, a lot of fun.
Get it right in the head. A lot of space means a lot of room for our, most agile players to, yak them up and score those touchdowns. I don't want to do anything to our big football league. I don't want to delay it. Our big football league is a wonderful thing. Domingo boys went undefeated last year, right? But I'll tell you what, a lot of their graduate, a lot of their seniors are gone. So I think they're going to come back. They still got some nucleus pieces, but I expect big things from Sig Up to come back and Phi Sig. And there's some other team, Lambda Chi. There's going to be some team serious contention for that championship. I don't want to shorten that season. It's going to start up in October. So for those of you that want to get involved in 4v4 flag football, register soon because the longer you wait, the more games you're going to lose out on. I expect teams to only have 3 regular season at 4v4 league before playoffs begin. Hey, good news. All 3 of those sports are open. All right, we're not getting into our co-rec stuff until that big football league. And then we'll talk more about women's sports, sure enough, because there's a lot of talk about women's sports and female participation. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk, but not yet. There's still some more sports that we have to cover. RC racing is back. We have a President's Cup that we gave away last year, right? I think Phi Sig won the award. Help me with the name. Was it Joe? I think Joe from Phi Sig won that championship.
Um,
Pictures in my head. I know I got a picture I'm going to drop of him on this podcast. Maybe I'll remember when I get to that point. Hey, this is back. These races are going to be around campus. They're going to be on the field. You saw that facilities took away my racetrack to build a rest hall. It's okay. I said they're allowed to do that. That I'm creative. I'll find another spot for my track. So that's what we're going to do. But the first part of the year is going to be a lot of promo racing, RC racing. President's Cup not going to kick off spring. And I actually got a cup, did I not? Yeah,
you did.
I got a cup.
You did.
Hey, soccer players, this is your time. Futsal, soccer, I would never take that away from you. That is a wonderful game we do indoors. Jay's Minions, I think, made a debut. We had a women's championship, our first women's championship last year in futsal, soccer. That's back, of course. That's going to kind of kick off our season 2. And then when we get back January, what do the people want? They want basketball. Of course, we're going to do it like we always do it. And they want volleyball. Of course. EO Brasa was a lot of fun. That they brought great attention to our volleyball league. And I know I talked about futsal a little bit ago. Our outdoor soccer league. Don't you worry. Who were our champions? EO Brasa, I think that's a 2-time champion.
That is a 2-time champion.
Did Lambda they win the soccer? I don't think. Who won the men? Oh, I think it may have been.
It may have been.
So that is what we got for you. Hope you love the addition of 4v4 football and pretty much bringing it back, right? One other change. Intramural trivia. Something about it, V.
All right, so this is something that I'm particularly very excited about. We've traditionally done it. I think we've done it at a much smaller scale. We've always promoted it. We have wanted people to come out, participate, and we've always had participants. But this is something that I would, love to push for this year. I think this will be a very interesting and a very fun intramural sport this year. So what we're doing this year with intramural trivia is going to be traditionally we've done it only in one category really, which has been just sports, which has always been fun. But this year we're going to distribute it across 4 different categories, which will obviously contain sports, a lot of sports, that's for sure. But then we're also going to open it up to arts, history, and also your science, which hopefully brings out a lot of diversity in our I Am Trivia Night. If obviously it's going to bring out a lot of our sports heads that we have associated with our program, but then also it gives a lot of you all room to think about who you want on your teams. You don't just want you don't just want one person who's particularly really good at one thing. You may want 4 different people that might be masters at each of these categories. So what we're going to do with trivia is we're going to have it in the month of September. I'm thinking most likely the week after Labor Day weekend. We're going to finalize our time. The place where we will have it will be inside the Cobb in the student lounge, which is room 280. and we're going to try to pack that place up, have a lot of participants, have a lot of diversity, and we're going to try to have snacks, drinks, and we'll finalize that towards the date.
Looking forward to it. So let's talk about what do you need to do to get in the game. Well, one, no, Vishal and I, we're here to help. We made things kind of easy for you. Use this website called www.imleague.com. You're a first time player. When you go to this, you're going to be prompted to account, right? Easy, easy. Was it hard for you your first time, Michelle?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, just had to navigate it, but like
Well,
once I got through.
when he says navigate, let me just be honest. The advertisements are ridiculous. It slows up the screen. I have to pay for a lifelong membership. That's right. I pay for a lifelong, not to see a commercial. Only cost me $1. I don't know how far your dollar will go. To me, like that is $1 well earned. But I don't want it. I don't want to cramp your style. I don't want you to have to spend that dollar. So I've built another place for you to get in the game, and that's through a registration link. Google. It's a Google Doc. Have it on our Instagram, in our bio. I have it in a QR code on the Hala Center. My staff is aware about it. My staff knows how to work IM leagues. I want to make this as there's a fraternity, a couple of them. I know the name. I'm just going to bring out his name, Sal Campone. Sal, congratulations on your graduation. Sal would just send me an email with all the names of on this team. That's fine. I did it. I created that team for Sal. He made it easy on me because everyone had an account. It doesn't make it easy on me when I have to create people's account for them because I have to go find your email, your Stetson ID number. So if you do some of that legwork on the front end, it's really easy for me to help create. The big thing, and always the main thing, is I got to keep that forfeit percentage down. I have to remove all dead weight in the program. Great things come. So I want to do everything that I can to get you in the game and get you in the game on time. It's better for staff. It's better for their development. It's better for everybody. Would you contest any of that, V?
So I'm a big fan of believing in the fact that if you make the registration process easy, you keep up with deadlines. If you just make the registration process easy for yourself, you'll get the most out of this program. I think Travis mentioned this earlier, that if you are keeping up with your deadlines to register, and sending Travis your schedule and availability of when you can play games, you can actually get the correct amount of games that we have planned for you. If you're submitting your availability 3 or 4 weeks into the start of a sport, that is 3 or 4 weeks of programming that you're missing out on, which makes a huge difference. I mean, I've been part of teams where we've gotten to play 5 to 6 games before the playoffs, and it's been a completely different playoff experience. We've been able to figure out what goes on within the team, who's really good at doing what, and by the time the knockout stage and the playoffs come by, you already have those pieces in place, and you can just perform to the best of your abilities, compared to if you are only getting one game before the playoff starts. You don't really have all those things figured out. Then you're getting to the playoffs, you're scrambling left and right, which usually doesn't end up well.
Right.
Um,
So I call it a registration period, but I don't really have a registration deadline. I don't want a student to be left behind. If your availability only allows you to play a game, so be it. Let me give you some real life scenarios that I navigate. Domingo boys football team, their availability to me was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We can play from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Well, guess what? Those were our 4 programming days, and guess when we had those games during that time? Domingo boys had 8 games under their belt. We had a basketball team that ended up with 12 games. I think it was Green Bean, right? Kudos to Justin Guile, great team captain for the Nile boys. And I tell you, 12 games because they were available to play. But hey, there's no sweat off my back if you have to deal with SGA meeting. You have another club sport meeting. We have a fraternity social. If you everyone just wants to take their honey out on a day on Valentine's, I'm cool with it. I just don't like being stood up, right? I will work within your availability, but if you don't let me know if you're not going to be there, if you forfeit, you get dismissed from the league. So in September, what is one of the best things that we have going on? It is Greek recruitment, fraternities, sororities. Specifically with the sororities, hard for them to get in the game in the month of September. But if you want to play in a softball game, even just one, I got you, right? As long as we stay communicative, we're going to be able to optimize this calendar, which is going to not only support our community, develop our staff. Believe that. The more games that we can do, the better the efficient, the better the supervision will be, the better I'll be, the better Vishal will be. Cool. Any questions? Drop them in the comments. You know, we are here to help. Let's move on. We have some prizes to talk about. Prizes? Yes. Our champions get crowned, baby. And our overall champions in Greek life, they get crowned. So this is, what do you see right here? Peacup. This bad boy, President's Cup trophy. Given to, how would you, I want to say it the number one fraternity, but that could be subjective, right? Do we just say the fraternity with the most intramural sport points takes this home? I think that's a good way.
You could say,
In
yeah.
4 years, this belonged in the SIG app house. I know they won it back. They did. I think it went 12 years strong. How do you do this? It's not only winning championships, right? It's handling adversity, right? There's going to be times where you're going to lose. There's going to be time where that ball is going to rattle in and out. There's going to be times when you drop that football before that goal line and turnover. There's going to be times when it gets deflected and it becomes a pick six. There's going to be a time when a referee has to make a decision on a 50-50 call and it doesn't go your way. How are you going to respond in those? Well, if you respond well over the course of a year, then you don't lose any of those sportsmanship. You don't lose your control, right? And SIGAP did all of those things for over a decade. So very impressive. And SIGAP, I was definitely going to talk about you before having to crown our new champion. Because that happened. The streak is over. That trophy's going to another house. I'm very excited for them. I'm just excited for the parity. I'm excited that Greek life is back on campus. I've been at Stetson since 2014, and I've seen a lot of great evolution. And then I saw what COVID did to us. And Steve, would you agree? It's getting better than ever, right?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, definitely getting a lot of normality back, and for sure.
There's one thing missing, and Michelle, there it is. It's the Christensen Cup. Now, this is given to the number one sorority, right, with all the intramural points. And it has resided in 131, office 131, the Hala Center, 2019. It's time for this trophy to go find a new home. I'm done babysitting it. All right. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we have to do in order to present them. But again, I have to give credit where credit is earned. Hi, Beta Phi. Let's hear you. This has been your baby for generations, and now it is back on the market. You want it back? Try it out. You want to get your hands on it? AKO, AZD, Zeta Tau Epsilon. Anyone else I'm missing? All right, here's the deal. 4 all women playoff. 4. I'm offering more than 4. That's what I think. I think flag football. I think basketball. I think volleyball. I think one of the soccer leagues, whether it's futsal or outdoor. How many teams I need to be playoff? 4 of you. At least 4. All of you. At least. It's going to take a group effort in order to make that happen. I hope. And I expect it to. I know people have already been asking me. Have they been asking you about it, Bashar?
Yep, for sure.
All right. Ready to present the peacock?
I
What
think
about you,
so.
Keyshawn? Did you think you were going to see a changing of the guard while you're being at Stetson?
I mean, based on how dominant Sigep has been, I thought it was unlikely, but I guess the unlikely was done.
Yeah, so we're going to take a moment right here. I'm going to show you some videos. A lot of them were from last year. A couple of them were from the year before. Kind of how they've done it. I think Zane, he's the one that you saw swinging the bat. He was a big part of it. There was something about his leadership, the way he was able to command. Um, but he was always fair, right? I feel like some of the things he would say to the staff were like, but he always was fair. He was easy to communicate with. What were your experiences with Zeno?
I mean, always pleasant, like you mentioned. Zane and I first met each other through club sports, and we actually played or clubman soccer, and we both played as defenders, and so we would talk a lot. We would go against each other a lot, and there was never anything that he would try to hurt anybody or like bad sportsmanship. He was, I mean, I have always known him as a great leader.
I say a lot of success on the football field. I don't think they've really ever won a championship in football, but they seem to always be in it. They had a great rivalry with Sigat for several of those seasons. Whoa, wow. Aerotag was their jam, right? Led by Reich and Pratt and Juliana Black in the Bombers, right? So they had two teams in the Aerotag championship, and it was the B team who were able to beat the A team. I thought that would be something else. I thought they did well with soccer. Softball, they are definitely a team that could bring the bats. You gotta love that video of Riken going deep at Patricia. It was one of many home run balls. And who are some other names that stick out? Dennis Glum played a lot of games. Um, who are we missing? Justin McCullen.
Yeah.
There was a soccer player. Yeah, I think he's coming back for his senior year. A lot of their players are going to come back for their senior year. So I don't think this 5 sig thing is just going to be a one and done. I think that they got some more in them. They got some more in the tank. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of our new hires, some of our new promotions, some things that excite you.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I can proudly do so. I'm very proud of the work our sports program staff has done in the past. It's honestly, it's been a pleasure, managing them. They're like I sort of mentioned earlier. They're all very curious to want to learn, which to me is the best things. They're always asking questions. They're always hungry. Our whole staff is very committed to wanting to provide the best experience that they can to the student body, which I have a lot of respect for. I don't think it's particularly the easiest thing to face some of those fears and getting in front of their peers and enforcing sports rules. But I think our staff does it really well. They do it, and they do it really, really well. So we also have a lot of promotions in our staff. It's going to look a little bit different compared to what it did last year. So Brandon Lucido and Giuliano Black were our two captains last year. This year they'll be joined by Ian Hunt, who was a sports supervisor last year and has been promoted to a sports captain. That comes at no surprise to me because Ian has always been somebody who is always a go-to, somebody who I can always go to, whether it's wanting to come or whether it's coming up with training materials, training some of our other officials, or just being on site and just helping manage everything go by smoothly. So those are our three captains. This semester and year, we'll have four different supervisors. You know, so, so a lot of those were officials the semester before, and this year they have been promoted to being supervisors. And there's a process in our staff on how we do promote these people. We particularly look for those management skills, how they're managing the on-site conflicts that come up here and there. And these four people did an exceptional job at all of the categories that we have for a promotion. And these four people are Mia Woolens, Jay, Rayner, and Tyler Tomeno. So we're going to, rely on these four people a lot to help with those trainings and manage on sites. And we also have a lot of other great officials who were here with us last year as well, who are complete students of the game, and just want to learn, want to be out there, and want to do the best job that they can. So I'm certainly very, very excited for this year. Those relationships that we have in our staff are super tight and super. We're all super close with each other. So I'm very, very excited to go into this year and hopefully provide a great experience for the rest of our student body and also provide a great experience for our staff themselves.
Yeah, it's really because of your dominance, Vishal, that we're even allowed to be in this podcast. I think we're 20 minutes in, and I would never have been able to do something like this. If it wasn't for Vishal and all the heavy lifting that our captains. We have a lot of unsung heroes. Always
For
have.
sure.
I'm going
Yeah.
to miss some. Andrea Mingo, who graduated. But
Mhm.
I've always been finding more. Mia Woolens has been one heck of an unsung hero. Looking for the great thing. Hey, I ain't mad at Res Life. They got themselves a good one, and definitely sharing is caring. So
Mhm.
thank you very much, Michelle, for being with me today. I know you are actually off to do staff training right now.
Yep, that's
Thank
right.
you for taking the time to stop in and get us excited about intramural sports this
For sure. Thank you for having me, Travis.
year. Yeah. All right. Peace and blessings. So let's talk a little more about some of the better things that are. Female participation is up. I am so excited about female participation and up. Last we had mentioned we had a futsal, all women futsal championship, all women futsal championship. That was the first time. 1,000. Spectators are up. I started this year, or I started last year, grow our fans, wanting to get more butts and wanting to get spectators out there. I know the players are going to play for all their friends that are out there. So I have done different things to try and do exactly that, and we did it. We reached our goals. We've got 55% of the people out there are spectators. That's a wonderful thing. Um, Game counts are up. Suspensions are up. I usually suspensions at 12 of them last. You know how it is. You do the crime, you do the time. No love lost. If you wonder, like, if you ever want to be inside my head, if you see me out at the football field and one of our players start yelling at the referees and they're saying this, inside my head is, oh, how is he going to respond? How is she going to? Right? That's where a lot of this learning comes. So even if you're one of those that did the time, please know you helped my staff become better communicators, better listeners, better conflict managers. So thank you for doing the crime. And I thank you again for doing the time. And I want to get right back to Spike Ball because this is 2 days away. I want to show you a couple of videos that happened last year. Again, what you can expect. Registration opens from 12 to 1. We're going to go right into pool play games. What pool play works is I figure out how to put these teams in a playoff. Everyone will have one matchup. You do best of three. I'm going to take. I'll seed everyone based off of point differential. Playoffs will probably start right around 2 o'clock. It could be a hot one out there. I hear that with all this desert stuff, all the sand in the air, all the dust, that it is drying everything up. So we may not have any rain to cool us down. If it does rain at all, that's fine. We'll just go hide, wait it out. It's a 1 day tournament. I expect the championship to be somewhere around 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. If you don't want to see the whole tournament, but you want to see championship action, Rinker Field, right? You can follow our social media page. I'll have my dog Wrigley. I'll have yes, I will have that handsome boy with me. Help with security. He'll help with marketing. He'll help with any of your emotional desire and emotional needs. Right around the corner. And if you want to get involved in any of those clubs, you got to go to the involvement fair. And we've got a lot of them. Here's a long list. Aikido, baseball, clay target, top hat, surf, equestrian, running, soccer teams, both of them soccer teams, softball, pickleball, and top hat, both back this. Looking for a great thing, scuba diving, color guard, It's going to be a great year. They're always looking for new members. They need new members. That's scuba diving's underwater pump. Surf is a two-time Club of the Year. They've got a new leadership. Riley is the president. They'll be at an involvement fair. Softball's had two awesome. They should be at involvement fair. There's so much. Women's soccer team is growing. The men's soccer team has grown, and now they've become the measure stick of success for our club sport program. Aikido's got their coach Mike back, or their sensei Mike back, and equestrian is still competing. They do. So I feel blessed being a part of this program. I'm so happy for my staff. Give me the time to bring Potter Plays to campus. This is the first episode. There's going to be more to come. I'm going to have different guests joining me on. We're going to talk about controversial things. And let's not forget, it's for your entertainment, baby. So God bless. See you at Spikeball. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Go get that first day of school and stay safe. Now,